Welcome back to What is Awakening, and today I want to talk about the modality of mind. It's something that I've often have expressed in many different ways when I was expressing how the light and the rainbow are the same, just different modes. Emptiness and form, the same, just different modes. But more importantly, the mind, the unborn mind, is the very same mind we use to turn into the thinking mind, modes. But the reason I want us to think about modes is because we're talking about our actual experience of our minds. And we have two modes. And that's why we practice, is to learn another mode that's not natural to us, that's been, conditioned out through society and through our upbringing. But there are two moods. And by recognizing that, by recognizing it's the very same mind that has two modes, I think it's going to be very helpful in our meditation, and not just in our meditation, but in our everyday life, in our non-meditation. But I recognize this through coaching some guided meditations. However, after I recognize this, I realize it also extends throughout all of our life. But let me go ahead and talk about it in the context of meditation, and we could naturally see how this extends to our everyday life. It's the same dynamic. So there's two different modes, and this is what also I've been trying to point out. It's more important our orientation, what we bring to the practice, how we practice, how we engage the practice, rather than whatever we're practicing itself. That's what I've always been trying to express, but now I think by using the word modality, I think it'll be more helpful. So as I said, whatever techniques, whatever practice, whatever specifics you have, none of that is more important as in literally how you engage. And what I mean by that is the modality. So the best way I could describe the modality of mind that I'm referring to is we have two modes. One mind that we're very common with, or the mode of mind, is grasping, is looking, it's reaching outwards, it's trying to understand that, it's trying to understand that, it's looking at that. It doesn't just have to be physical things. It could be, we could move it closer this way to, let's say, your anger or your feelings of whatever you're seeing out of your joy. It could even be, pleasant things, but whatever that is, that's also content out there that you could be aware of. You could work this all the way back to tensions. You could work all the way back to the sense of identification. All of these are things that are examples of the mind grasping. We're grasping at our thoughts. We're grasping at our mood. We're grasping at our identification. All these things are the mind reaching outwards, trying to grasp, trying to either pull it together, sustain it, trying to understand it, keep it together. And that's what I've always meant about the stick man. Your mind, in the modality of thinking, is constantly creating. So there's this modality that we have, the only modality that we know. And like I said, it's not just external, but it's also internal. And that's why I refer back to meditation. You can recognize this in meditation. You close your eyes, you're aware of your experience, and now you can start to grasp onto your experience, struggling with your meditation. And that's how this came about, because I recognize that most people are struggling in their meditation. That their meditation is a battle. 20 minutes, 2 minutes, whatever long your meditation is, of a battle rather than a relaxing into. So that's what inspired this. So I want to give some advice that'll help to not battle during the meditation, to not try to get your mind to do something, to try not to modify your mind, to try not to have an idea of what your mind should be doing in meditation and trying to make it do that, because that, again, is that mode where you're trying to act upon something, where you're actively engaged in something. It's a very active modality of mind. So obviously, the other modality, if this is one modality of acting and grasping, the other modality would be best described by what we'd feel is an open palm. We know what that feels like to have an open palm. We know what that feels like to walk into a situation and just being open and just seeing what's here. We know what that's like. It may be rare, but we know what that's like. We have that muscle memory of an open palm where we're just being open and receptive to what is. So, in our meditation, the way we would practice this is, let's say we start off looking for a basic experience. We're seeing what is. We're recognizing the stillness. We're recognizing the space. We're recognizing the contents. And in time, we'll recognize a noise, a feeling, a movement. Okay. So now at this point, usually in our meditation, what I'm finding is that people would try to bring their mind to a specific place rather than opening themselves to the noise, to the sounds, to it doesn't even have to be a noise or sound. It could be an inner feeling. It could be an inner feeling of, oh, I'm feeling tense. Oh, I'm feeling like I'm not doing good in my meditation. Whatever that is, let's say it's that. Let's take a specific example of a thought comes up. It doesn't even have to be a noise or a sound. A thought comes up. Oh, I can't settle my mind. Instead of seeing that, viewing that as a problem that needs to be whacked down, recognize that is what's happening. That is your experience. So rest into that. Rest into the thought of, I'm not having a good meditation. Rest into it. Open yourself into it. Merge with that. Rather than pushing it away or thinking it shouldn't be there and go in a different direction than that, go in the direction. When I say that, not with thinking. This is not thinking. This is not intellectual. This is simply an opening and emerging and a looking for your basic experience. And if what your basic experience is a thought or a noise or a distraction, then don't move away from that. Merge with it, because that's what is. That is what is. That is what you're actually looking for. When you're looking for your basic experience, you're looking for what is. And in most situations, there's just going to be noise or, attention and inner tension. So merge with that. Open yourself to that. Your goal is not to battle that. Your goal is not to have anything specific, rather than whatever it is. So that's the modality that we're talking about. So I want to go ahead and end this short because, like I said, I do want to have a lot of these videos short and quick. And I encourage you to ask questions. So thank you and bye-bye. See you soon.